I grew up at the racetrack, whether it was asphalt or dirt. My one grandpa actually raced hard tops. Actually, he was more of a car owner than a driver. My other grandpa was into hot rods, anything. He's a restoration guy, anything on that side of things. He was never a racer, but he built everything, and he was into boats. And my uncle was into race boats. My dad was into race boats, and then he transitioned into race cars. He actually ran asphalt midgets. Actually, he ran dirt and asphalt midgets. They were a combo car back then for BCRA. And so funny, like he started running midgets when I was really young, but that was the only midget stuff that ever was in my life prior to this. So, and that was back when I was probably 1. I started out running outlaw carts also. And then I think I started when I was 14 or 15, and I ran up until I was probably 20, maybe 19, something like that. Then my younger brother got into it also. And then I ended up getting a sprint car. It was a 94 Paulson. And my old boss, it was his grandpa's car. And he ended up cutting me a killer deal on it, and I bought it, and it was a pile. And it ran though. First night out, it blew a power steering box all over my lap. Next week, the rear end blew in half. And so we just kept inching at it and making it a better car each time. And eventually my younger brother got into the sprint car stuff. We were fortunate enough to get another car down the road. So I put him in the other car, and he had more talent than I did, or fearless, I don't know, either one. So I ended up putting him in there, and after a year or so, saw his potential, and I stepped out and just became his crew chief. And we couldn't afford to run 2 cars, let alone 1 anyway. So I ended up just being his crew chief. And that's pretty much where that part of it all started, because I was a driver prior. So I had known Johnny Kofer from California, the go-kart thing with Maria, and he called one day and said, "Hey, we got this opportunity for Maria, and I need somebody back there because I can't be back there all the time." And so I took a shot at it. You know, there's a lot of, being around the industry for a while, there's a lot of guys that it's pretty much a smoke show. They talk a good game and it doesn't work out. So I was very skeptical about it. And so I came back and felt it out and tried it out and met Brent and John and everybody, and it just took off. And I knew right off the bat, these guys were the real deal. So that's where it all started. And it's just been going crazy from there. So started with 1 car with Maria, and then talked them into building a second car. And then next thing you know, we got 3 midgets, we got an asphalt midget, we got sprint cars, you know, it's just been going up and up ever since. Being around them more and more, it was going to grow. I didn't know how long it was going to take to grow, but it was going to grow. And it grew pretty quick. So, yeah, I mean, it's just been going and going and going. And from the original meeting, whatever year it was when we started, about halfway through that first year, we had another meeting at a little place down the street in a bar, downstairs bar. And that's where we struck a deal to have them build another car, or have us build another car, and another midget. And that's sort of when they realized that this is going to get pretty expensive and pretty serious pretty quick. And but they between Brent and John and all our partners, and they give us everything we ask for and what we need to do what we do. And you put the right people in place. We have a great driver, obviously, and it's equal success, and that's just how it is. That's all, it always is. And you might not have all of the success right off the bat, but as long as you work hard at it and you have the right people and the right owners and the right tools and equipment, it's going to succeed at some point. Yeah, I mean, I knew we would have success right off the bat the first time he drove a midget for us out in California. And he really didn't care for the style midget we had at the time, and he still did good. So I knew when we got him what he wanted, it was going to be good. And it's just been a whirlwind from there. It's been crazy. I mean, I knew we would have success, but not what we've done so far in a short amount of time. Like you said, it's been wild. But that goes back to just everything being, the right people and equipment, and it all makes it happen. I mean, I think obviously the first championship with Logan, with the midget and Johnny, and because that was, the first of everything. I mean, all of them are special to me. I was in construction a lot. I worked at Johnny Franklin's, Chase Johnson's. I worked for his dad and uncle and grandpa. I worked there for quite a few years. I ran their driveline shop. I built all their drivelines. And that's actually how I sort of learned the sprint car side of things, was from Chase's dad and grandpa and uncle. I used to go to the races with them quite a bit in the sprint car stuff. So they taught me a lot. But yeah, I mean, I worked in construction and did driveline stuff with them, and I was a plumber for a little while, run an excavator, a little bit of all that stuff, and then go race every weekend. We were on the road somewhere. So it's what we've always done. Maybe boats guys were gonna get it, or Swanson, and I didn't think me. It was pretty surreal. I always have fire in me to do better. I'm never really satisfied with where we're at, and I always want to do better. I always strive to do better, and so I think that's what drives me to keep doing it. Obviously, success we've had, and Brent and John are great guys. The whole team, like, I didn't know anybody except for Logan and Daniel and Johnny. And now there's T-Bone and Liam and just everybody, and Brent and John, I didn't know them. So I made a lot of friends along the way, met a lot of cool people. A lot of our sponsors and partners are great people. I like that side of it too. I like talking with them and all that stuff. And man, I don't know, I love racing. I like working on them. It gets stressful at times, and trying to handle bolting stuff together and then being on the phone and all that stuff, but it all comes with the job, and I'm up for it and continue on. So yeah, I don't know. I just like it. I love it. We've always done it. So